Nebraska has found their guy, and college football and myself couldn't be more excited for them, and we have to talk about it. But before we do that, please go ahead, hit the like and the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking about in the comments below about this hire for Husker Nation. So, Nebraska has been a ride over the past couple of years. Their best season under Scott Frost was in 2019 when they went 5-7. Still not even bowl eligible. You have to go all the way back to 2016, and the last time that Nebraska was able to make a bowl game and able to make a difference. They went 9-4 that season, losing to Tennessee in the Music City Bowl. And Nebraska fans, they deserve better than this. And they're ready to get back on track and get back to winning. Nebraska announced today that they have hired Matt Rule as their head coach. And personally, for a guy like me who has had Nebraska in the conference before, and I really love to see Nebraska be good again, I love this hire with Matt Rule. Because Nebraska fans, one thing that you have to understand, and Matt Rule said this today on College Game Day, he loves to go in there and develop players and develop programs, and that's exactly what he's going to do. When he was at Temple from 2013 to 2016, he went in 2013 2-10. 2014, he went 6-6. So you saw an improvement there, immediately bowl eligible. In 2015, they went 10-4, and in 2016, they went 10-4. But on the recruiting trail, number 2013 was number 77, number 69, number 82, and number 60. He never even scratched a top 50 or 30 class. What he did is he made the most of what he had. He took the players that he could get. He took the players that were there, developed them, and ultimately put out winning seasons. Then he goes to Baylor in 2017. And mind you, this Baylor program has got to be a tougher job than the Temple program they took over. Because if you remember, they had all those rape scandals out there at Baylor, and we pretty much thought their program was going to be dead. And, you know, you've got an exodus of the staff, presidents. I mean, it was a bad deal. Players were gone. And quite honestly, who wants to send their kid to that? I wouldn't. In 2017, he goes 1-11. And quite frankly, they were lucky to get that one win. 2018, gets him bowl eligible, 7-6. He gets some of his guys in there, starts creating a culture. In 2019, he goes 11-3 and plays Georgia in a bowl game. I can't remember if they won that game or not. In 2020, though, he went 2-7. COVID was a weird year, though, so can't really dock him majorly on his resume for that one. While he was at Baylor, number 39 recruiting class, number 29 recruiting class, number 40, and number 51. Again, not super high recruiting classes, better than what he had at Temple, especially in a situation that was tough to be able to potentially recruit kids into. Matt Rule is the right hire for this job. Maybe he's not a fit in the NFL. Maybe that's not his thing. But he is going to be able to build a staff, hopefully retaining Mickey Joseph, because we know of the elite recruiter that Mickey Joseph is and an offensive coordinator and how Nebraska people love him. So hopefully he sticks around. They might be in a bidding war, though, to keep Mickey Joseph because, let's be honest, Mickey Joseph's probably going to be up for some big offensive coordinator jobs. But when I look at what Matt Rule can do for this program, he can bring Nebraska back to relevance. He talked about it today, reasons why he wanted to go to Nebraska. He said it's a team he grew up revering. He remembers the greatness of Nebraska. And here's the thing. You got to have somebody that knows the rich tradition of Nebraska. I'm not saying Scott Frost didn't, but you got to have somebody that knows the rich tradition of Nebraska and can go in there and articulate that to a kid, because people my age really don't remember the Nebraskas. Remember, I was born in 1997, guys. I really don't remember Nebraska being dominant and revered as that college football team. Same thing for Miami, but we'll talk about that one another day. And then he said, Nebraska's got great leadership up top, and they have a great vision for this program. A great vision. He believes in it. He's buying in to what the people up top are trying to sell him. And that's important. And Nebraska fans, if you guys, so far it seems like you give your coaches time. You guys gave Scott Frost, I think, plenty of time. But if you give Matt Rule 5 years in this program, I know he got an 8-year contract, but if you give him 5 years, he's going to be putting Nebraska potentially back in the conversation to win a conference championship. And in the Big Ten, that's a big deal. He might have Nebraska in it here in the next 2 or 3 years. Because it's not like Nebraska is not able to go out there and recruit and get guys. Remember, Nebraska has money, guys. Nebraska can go out there and get players. They have elite recruiters, especially in Mickey Joseph. This is not necessarily something that I think is going to be out of the reach for Nebraska to be able to go out there and do. And I think Matt Rule is the perfect guy to be able to come in here and turn around the Nebraska program. And what's one of the things that Matt Rule is going to do first? He's going to go in there and he's going to try to lock down the state of Nebraska. Because, you guys were able to get Malachi Coleman from Lincoln, Nebraska this year. But you've got teams like Oklahoma starting to creep back up into that area. You got Kansas creeping in your area. Colorado, you got to be able to go in there and you've got to be able to lock down your state. But listen, Nebraska gets in the top 23 all the time. I'm looking at it right now in 2022. They had the number 34 recruiting class, 32 recruiting class. In 2021, they had the number 24 recruiting class. In 2020, as soon as it decides to load, they had the number 20 recruiting class. So it's not like Nebraska can't go get guys. And with Matt Rule, he's definitely going to be able to go in there. He's going to be able to sell the idea of Nebraska to these kids. And you never know. You guys might be landing top 15 classes. And that's something that Nebraska needs. Glad it happened. Sorry for Scott Frost, but now he can go have better days as the Alabama offensive coordinator. That's right, I said it. The Alabama offensive coordinator. And Nebraska can be back to relevance, fighting for a Big Ten championship title. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys haven't already, please go ahead, hit that like and the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the hire of Matt Rule to Nebraska.